Hi everyone and welcome to this video. Today I wanted to speak a little bit about how I ended up living here in Seoul, South Korea. So I got myself a Korean husband. Oh, I'm just kidding. Well, I do have a Korean husband, but I didn't come here originally because I married a Korean. I'd graduated university in 2016 and I spent basically the whole year after I graduated just kind of figuring out what I wanted to do with my life. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my degree. I have a degree in history and theology. A lot of the people who I graduated with went into like working in museums and stuff like that. But I was basically I had no idea what I wanted to do. I actually studied a little bit about Korean history at university, which was what initially sparked my interest. And then I also got into K-pop. BTS were not as big as they are now at the time, but I had just discovered them back in 2017. And yeah, basically that sparked my interest in Korea even more, and I decided that I wanted to come and try living here for a little bit. So I started researching how I could come and live in Korea. Basically there are two options, pretty much just two options for where I'm from, which is the UK. You can either come as an English teacher and teach English as a second language here, or the second option is you can study at a Korean university, so back to being a student. I was overstudying for a while. Basically as soon as I got my degree I was like, I'm out of here, I'm done with university, it's not for me. So the thought of going back to studying and being a broke student again was not appealing to me at all. So the only option left for me was to be an English teacher, and that sounded much more appealing. One, because I'd always sort of wondered if I would enjoy teaching as a career, and two, I could earn money while I was living in Korea. So it just seemed like the best option for me at the time. I had never even set foot in South Korea before I decided that I wanted to try and live here for a year as an English teacher, so that was either really brave or really stupid, or both. I've been told that I'm really brave, but honestly, the line between being really brave and stupid is pretty thin sometimes. It worked out. I did a lot of research on the culture, the language, anything that would make me have an easier time living in South Korea. And upon researching, the culture and all of that stuff further, it basically just solidified my decision to move here for a year. And then the hard part was telling my parents who were very against the idea, but I was pretty determined that I wanted to come here. So once I'd made my mind up that I was coming here, I was coming here. From my research, I found out that the Epik program, the English program in Korea, was the most common and the safest way to come to South Korea. I say safest because there are a lot of Hagwon horror stories online, and I decided that teaching with Epik seemed like the safest option. You also come with a whole group of people. There's something called the Epik orientation, where basically as soon as you land in South Korea you're taken to a university, and basically you're all kind of grouped together at this orientation. So it's not just you on your own, landing foot in a foreign country for the first time with no idea what you're doing, and you're just kind of left on your own to kind of figure things out. That would have given me really bad anxiety, so I decided that Epik just seemed like the smartest move for someone like myself. and I'm really happy that Epik was the choice that I made, because like I said, I went to this orientation and I made so many friends. I met so many amazing people from different corners of the globe, and I still am friends with a couple of those people to this day. So yeah, I think that's really awesome about the Epik program. And the Epik program, the contracts are basically a year long, and you don't choose the school that you're placed at, you just choose the location you would prefer to be placed in. And obviously everyone and their mother puts Seoul because everyone wants to live in Seoul. But I didn't get Seoul. I got placed in Gyeonggi-do, which is the area surrounding Seoul. I was specifically placed in a town called Yangpyeong, which is about 40 minutes via the KTX and about an hour and 40 minutes if you just take the normal subway. So pretty far out, and yeah, it was very rural. There was not a lot there, but I wouldn't have changed it for the world. I had such a great time. My first 12 months in South Korea were amazing, and I'd already made my mind up about 2 months before my contract was due to finish that I wanted to stay in Korea a little bit longer. I wasn't done with my career adventure just yet. I made a lot of friends here who were also staying for another year. You can have the choice of like renewing your contract with Epik or reapplying elsewhere. I chose to reapply elsewhere because I really wanted to go to Seoul, so I actually applied to a different school. After I had made the decision to stay in South Korea for a little bit longer, I went on a night out in Gangnam on Halloween in 2018, and I happened to bump into the love of my life. So yeah, I bumped into Jay, who is, you probably guessed, is my husband. So Jay approached me upon our upon our initial meeting. I wasn't really impressed. That sounds really bad, but it's because I thought he was an American soldier. Because I clocked the haircut, like his hair was cut really short, he had a buzz cut, and he spoke to me with a really thick American accent. I'd heard so many horror stories from friends about American soldiers here who, you know, they started dating an American soldier and then they found out they had a whole life and family back in the States. Oh hell no! So I was like, oh no, thank you, like, you're cute, but no thank you. As soon as I found out that he wasn't an American soldier and that he was just somebody who spoke English very well and had studied in America, etc., I was very interested. So yeah, I was delighted to find out that he wasn't an American soldier, and we began dating. Jay quickly told me that he was still studying in America. He hadn't graduated from his university course yet. He'd just come back to Korea to do his military service, hence the haircut. So he told me he had to go back, and I had to make a decision on whether I wanted to do a long distance relationship or if I wanted to just, you know, cut my losses now. And I decided I wanted to give long distance a try. So I stayed in Korea teaching English still, and Jay went back to America, and our long distance relationship started towards the end of 2019. I decided I wanted to go back to the UK. I was having a really tough time at the Hagwon that I had accepted a job from. The job was really stressful. I won't go into details or mention the school, of course, because I don't want to get sued. I was really stressed out, and I decided it was time for me to leave Korea and go home to the UK for a while. but I intended on coming back to Korea to teach again, just with a different school in the future. When I went back to the UK, I flew out to see Jay in America a couple of times, and he came to England too, so we were flying backwards and forwards between the UK and America. And then I decided I wanted to do a teaching course. I did begin my teaching course, however it got cancelled due to the dreaded C word that I can't say on YouTube, because apparently I heard there's an issue with saying the C ends with D word. Basically, because of that illness that was going around at the time, my course got cancelled. I also couldn't fly out to see Jay anymore, and obviously he couldn't fly to see me anymore because of, again, the illness that was going around. It stopped all air travel, etc. So we couldn't see each other in person for 18 months. So in 2021, when air travel opened back up again, I booked my flight to South Korea, where Jay had also flown back because of the illness. Quarantined in a hotel for 2 weeks. It was miserable. And then when I was let out of quarantine, me and Jay, we spent 3 months together before I then flew back to the UK again. Jay, upon graduating university, was offered a job in Boston in the US, but because I didn't have a visa and Jay himself was on a work visa, I couldn't live in America with him, so I had to keep flying backwards and forwards. And then while we were in Boston together, Jay got some really bad news about one of his family members, and so we made the decision to head back to South Korea together. Me and Jay had already discussed marriage many times, and we decided that this was probably the time to do it. And so Jay came over here and he was getting everything set up ready. He flew back first around March 2023. He came back to Korea, he got his job set up, he got settled here, and he began trying to find an apartment for us to live in. So Jay found an apartment, but it was a brand new build that wasn't ready yet, and so we had to wait until September of 2023 to actually get our apartment. And then I flew out in October of 2023. So me and Jay got married on paper first because we had to figure out my F6 visa, my marriage visa, which is the visa that I am currently on. We had to sort out all of the paperwork for that, which, by the way, was a lot.
Like, a lot?
The amount of stress and the amount of paperwork, the amount of difficulty that came with getting my F6 visa was just unreal, honestly. South Korea actually has a rule that you can't apply for a visa while you're in the country. You have to apply in your home country. So again, I had to fly back to the UK, back home, and apply at the Korean embassy in London. So I submitted all of the paperwork for the marriage visa, and then I just had to sit and wait. My visa finally got approved in January of 2024, so January this year, and then I flew out in February, and me and Jay began planning our wedding. And I also had my family fly out to be at my wedding too, so I'm very fortunate for that. But yeah, that's basically my story of how I ended up living here in Seoul, South Korea. I really hope you found this video interesting / informative. If you have any questions about any of the visas or want me to make a dedicated video on coming to Korea as an English teacher or anything like that, then I can definitely make a separate video on that, so just let me know in the comments. Other than that, I just want to thank you so much for watching this video. If you did like the video, then please like, comment and subscribe. And also, if you would like to see more life in Korea content or general content from me, then please go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!